What's up? My name is Nikki Simmons, and today we are continuing on to part 2 of a very special series that I'm doing on my channel where I show you how I record a cover from start to finish for YouTube. In the first part of this series, we covered recording and comping vocals. If you want to catch up on that, I put that link in the description below. This series is sponsored by my good friends over at DistroKid. A little bit later on in this video, I'm going to show you just how easy it is to use DistroKid to get your music on every major online music platform. But first, we gotta finish the song, so let's get tuning. So pitch correction can sometimes be a sensitive subject among singers. It's really not about whether or not you use it, because everyone uses it, but it's about how you use it that impacts the sound and style of your vocals. There are tons of different ways you can use pitch correction software to tune your vocals, but I'm gonna show you how I do it to make it sound the most natural. So as you can see, we've got a lot going on in this session. There are, I believe, 19 vocal tracks going on. We've got our work cut out for us. So when you open up Waves Tune, it's going to look very similar to Melodyne in that there's a little piano on the side showing you where all the notes are. All you have to do from here is press spacebar, let it play through, and let it pick up and map out exactly what you sang.
Can't explain all the feelings that you're making me feel.
That's a good starting point. We just do it line by line. So a lot of people will tell you that you need to figure out the key of your song, put it into this little box right here, and then let the software do the rest for you. But I don't do that. I actually tune all of my vocals by hand because I think it sounds better and I think you get a better effect. I don't tune every single note because if it doesn't need it, I'm not gonna mess with it. What I usually listen for is something that is glaringly off, in which I will fix. So let's have a listen.
Can't explain all the feelings that you're making me feel.
So right away, the vibrato on feel got a little bit away from me, so I'm just going to drag it down, and that should do it. And right here, it also got away from me quite a bit right there, so just drag them down. So when I'm tuning my vocals, it really is just about how far I want to take the pitch correction. I always keep in mind the context of the song and what I'm working on. So for this song, it's a rock song, so I really wouldn't change much. I think there's a lot of little tiny things that add character to a voice, and I don't want it to be absolutely perfect. That's just not the sound that I'm looking for. So I will probably do just fine adjustments. Like this note right here, I think is off, but I need to hear where it needs to be.
Feelings that you make, feelings that you
I think this needs to come up.
feelings that you're making me feel. Can't explain all the feelings.
Oh, that needs to be fixed, I think. Yeah, that's the right note. So put that there as well.
Can't explain all the feelings that you make.
Right there. Obviously a mistake.
Can't explain all the feelings that you're making me feel.
I think that sounds natural. I think that sounds realistic to the sound that I want for these vocals in the song. So I would say that line is done. Let's move on to the next one. So you'll find that if you spend more time comping like I do, you'll actually spend less time tuning. That is, if you're doing it by hand the way I do. If you're getting the best of the best takes to begin with, it makes sense that you're not gonna have to do much to them because you've already spent time making sure they were the best, if that makes sense. All right, so let's listen to this.
My heart's in overdrive and you're behind the steering wheel.
Just looking for little things like this again. I really don't want to change much. I think that belongs there. I need to hear that. Got a lot of vibrato going on in this song, so it's going to be kind of different from what I usually do. Usually I'm singing just straightforward notes, but because there's vibrato, there's going to be like a fluctuation in there, which is fine. There's no problem with that, but this is just not a typical tuning session for me. Just fixing little things.
Overdrive and you're behind the steering wheel.
Steering wheel. I think that's wrong. That needs to come up.
My heart's in overdrive and you're behind the steering wheel.
Woo! Every once in a while you make a tune that isn't the right one you should have done, so you're just gonna undo it and pretend like it never happened. Very, 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 very important to remember that when you undo, you wanna press this button right here to undo, because if you press anything else, it is going to take the channel strip setting away and it'll be like you just didn't do any of that work. So learn from my mistakes.
And you're behind the steering wheel.
Is it right there?
My heart's in overdrive and you're behind the steering wheel.
I don't know. I think I like it there.
And you're behind the steering wheel.
Yeah, I think that sounds good. So normally I would just continue on with the section, but I want to show you more of the song. I want to show you different things that you didn't see in the last video.
Got love. Oh.
those nice. It's a nice little 3-part harmony that I quad tracked, which means each one of the harmonies has 4 tracks to make it sound big and full, but I think I'm actually going to start tuning this part.
You got me in a spin, but everything is A-okay.
So let's fine tune these a bit.
You got me in a spin, but everything is A-okay.
In a spin, but I gotta fix that.
You got me in a spin, but
yeah, it's really the little things that make the difference between it sounding really, really natural and clean and perfect and sounding very forced and computerized and robotic. I don't think there's anything, maybe there.
You got me in a spin, but everything is A-okay.
All right, let's hear that first harmony.
Everything is A-okay.
Okay, so there's just a couple problems with this, nothing major. Things like this where I go a little sharp, go a little flat, easy fixes, just drag them in. Fix that, fix that, fix that.
Everything is A-okay.
Yeah, that K is a bit off. That's it. Listen.
Everything is A-okay.
Sounds good, sounds good. Let's hit up that third part and complete the trifecta.
Say okay.
Again, just a couple little things. This. Listen.
Say okay.
That's good. Now let's hear them together.
You got me in a spin, but everything is A-okay.
Beautiful. I know my methods for tuning are a bit controversial, but I think it has the best sound. If you hear a bit of popping, it's not going to be there in the final takes. It's just because I'm screen recording and my computer's like right now trying to keep up with everything.
I believe in a thing called love.
Woo, okay. Let's take a look at this section.
I believe in a thing called love.
If I'm honest, there's not much I really want to do to this. I think it's pretty much perfect. Just little tiny things that come out like that. I mean, that's nitpicking, you know? Yeah, maybe right there. This section is perfect. It's almost entirely perfect. I got a really good comp. I spent the time getting a really good comp. There's nothing I really want to do to it. Just a couple little things that I fixed. That's it. Overall, it's perfect. So let's hear it tuned.
I believe in a thing called love.
To me, that's just a testament of the importance of a good comp. Without a good comp, we might be messing with this for several more minutes before we figured out exactly what we wanted from it. I mean, if I'm nitpicking, maybe this right here.
I believe in a thing called love.
Sounds good. So I'm going to keep this a little brief because we still have to cover mixing in this video, but if you have any questions about anything at all in my process for tuning vocals, please leave those in the comments. I'm happy to help answer them the best that I can. I do want you to learn something from this video, but for now, let's get to mixing.
Hi guys, I'm Ryan. I've been producing Nick's vocals for the past few years, and today I'm going to show you how I go about making a release-ready vocal from scratch. I start by importing Nick's dry vocals, setting rough levels and pan positions for the backing vocals. Most of the harmonies here are doubled, so I can set them quite hard left and right between 70 and 90%. Starting work on the main vocal, I open the first of 2 compressors, setting fairly average attack and release times and riding the threshold to find a good balance between softer and more belted parts. Adding a second compressor to deal with any excessive peaks, this time with a slightly faster attack to add some punchiness back into the more belted sections. The track we're mixing the vocals into doesn't call for much dynamic and has quite a lot of competing frequencies in the high gain guitars and overheads, so we're safe to aim for a more brick wall effect than going back and automating levels throughout the track. I then add a de-esser and light EQ behind both compressors in the effects chain. This allows me to kill any unwanted hiss or plosive high end with a de-esser, and then use the EQ to control some more boxy mid-range and reintroduce some of that airy high end that was lost during de-essing. Listening back, the main vocal is still competing with frequencies from the guitars and overheads, so I send the main vocal to a new track, add a doubler to simulate 2 extra takes, oversaturate to a nice crunch, and level just until I hear the vocal become more defined among the distorted guitar tracks. I repeat this process again for all main harmony and backing vocals, the only difference being slightly more EQ reduction as not to encroach on the main vocal. Moving on to effects tracks, I like to run as few post effects as possible. For this project, just a single reverb channel that I use to match the perceived size of the vocal to the rest of the track. A good tip for this is to try and match your reverb size and decay time to your drum room or cab room mics. This leads to a much more natural live room sound, but can sound slightly disconnected from more produced vocals. To combat this, I compress the reverb channel in parallel with the lead vocal. This essentially rides the reverb level to the main vocal, meaning the reverb can be louder in the track before it begins affecting the clarity of the vocal that's triggering it. I like to imagine this like adding a drop shadow to a white text on a white background. The vocal will cut through the backing instrumental without affecting the colour of the original track. To finish up, I add all the vocal tracks to a single bus, add some light broad stroke EQ and light saturation just to glue everything together and help everything sit a little better in the mix.
Well, that's it. The song is finished, it's mixed, and it's ready to go. The next step is to get it online so people can start buying it and streaming it. I'm going to show you how I do that using DistroKid. If you missed the first video in the series, DistroKid is a digital music distribution service. They let you keep all of the profits from your music and you only pay a small annual membership fee. If you're thinking about signing up, I put a link in the description that gets you 7% off your first year's membership. You should really check it out. Alright, so it literally takes about 5 minutes to upload your music to DistroKid, so let's do it and let's time it. So the timer starts now. Okay, so we are releasing one song, Nikki Simmons. That's my name. Yes, that's me. Yes, that's me. So let's have it come out on July 1st because that's when the music video is coming out on YouTube. Release time 12 for the listeners' time zone on Spotify. Perfect. Yes, let's start the pre-orders on it immediately so people can become aware and start getting on that. Do the album artwork. Yes, yes, yes. Primary genre would be rock, I guess. And then alternative, I guess, would be the second one. Right? Song title. Make sure you don't misspell this. I believe in a thing called love. Let's choose the audio file right there. So this is a cover, so I have to check that it is a cover. Now you're gonna have to pay a $12 fee for covers, and that is every year. They charge you $1 a month to manage your licensing. This is on any site. This isn't just DistroKid. You have to pay a mechanical license to the original artist, so that's fine. You're gonna wanna read all of this stuff right here. Make sure you're not breaking any laws. I've already had a quick read through that, but you're gonna have to as well. The Darkness does not have a sample or remix, no explicit lyrics, no radio edit. Yes, this contains lyrics. Track price 99 cents. There's a few extras you can add on when you're uploading your stuff to DistroKid. I'm not going to add any of these today, but there's some good stuff in there if you want to check it out when you're uploading your music. Make sure you read all of these boxes and check them. Ooh, it's uploading. Uploading the track. All right, that's done. And we are at 4 minutes and 20 seconds. And that's with me kind of explaining things along the way. If you're doing it by yourself and you're not talking to a camera, it's gonna be much quicker. That was easy, wasn't it? Sure was. Thanks, DistroKid. Just a couple things to remember when you're uploading your music to DistroKid. You want to make sure your release date is at least 4 weeks in the future, and that's because it does take time for these stores and streaming platforms to review your songs before they put them online. Secondly, you want to read through everything on the upload page before you upload your music. I've already read through it, but if you haven't, take the time, read it. There's a lot of information on there and you want to make sure you understand it before you upload your music. But listen guys, it's so easy to get your music online using DistroKid. They handle everything for you. It's quick, it's easy, it's painless. If you're a musician and you want to get your music online and you want to make money from it, click the link in the description and get 7% off your first year's membership with DistroKid. You won't be sorry. If you like this video and you want to see more just like it, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and be sure to that notification bell so you don't miss any updates from me. We got 2 more parts in the series, all of my secrets, everything that you want to know about how I do my videos in this series. It's coming for you in the next 2 weeks. Thank you so much for watching. I cannot wait to see you next time. Bye.